So, welcome everybody. My name is Tamara. Welcome to Yoga for Teachers. Today is Wednesday. So on Wednesdays, it's flow and be still. So we do about 15 minutes of meditation and then a 30-minute flow sequence to start our days. I decided for this week that we were going to continue our intention of distance. I felt like, I felt like last week was just the beginning of exploring this idea of distance, and it's such a prevalent part of our lives right now that I wanted to give it a little bit more time and the time that it deserved. And this week, and I'm not going to actually talk very long this morning because I want us to have a really nice long meditation since we're continuing exploration of this idea. But as I kind of transitioned into how I wanted to think about distance this week, I really thought about the physical distance that we're all experiencing from each other, right? So, I live alone, so I'm spending a lot more time alone than I normally do. And, you kind of go through these phases, and I don't know if you've experienced this as well. In the beginning, I think a lot of us, well, I shouldn't say a lot of us, myself, there was this relief, like, oh, finally I get to just have some alone time, some time to kind of just go into myself. And then you go into this next phase of, oh my goodness, how long is this going to last? When am I going to get to see my family? When am I going to get to see my friends? And now I've kind of settled into this evenness and this calm, right? So it's not a, the distance is good, we need separation. And it's also not the panic of, when am I going to be able to see people? I can't stay in my house any longer. I got to get out of here kind of thing, right? It's this in between of acceptance of where we are, right? And knowing that we're here for a reason, right? The distance that we are experiencing, the distance that we have created between us serves a obvious purpose, right? Social distancing serves an obvious purpose in terms of protecting our health, but it also serves, I feel, a deeper purpose of reminding us of the value of relationships, right? So we can sometimes take the people in our lives for granted, because especially those that live close to us that we can see on a regular basis. But when you are really close physically to somebody but cannot be in their physical presence, it brings a very different appreciation to their lives. So, for example, I live about, 4 miles from my parents. And I've lived in other cities where I didn't live near my parents, and there's definitely a missing when you don't live in the same city as your family, but it's different when you know that there are miles and miles and miles between you, right? And what I've noticed over these last, I guess it's now been 6 to 7 weeks, is that there's a different missing when my parents are right down the street and I cannot be in their physical presence. And so that's the distance that I've kind of been sitting with this week, is how do I find calmness, right? How do I find acceptance? How do I find stillness, right? When there are people in my proximity that I love that I cannot be around. So that's where meditation, right? It always comes back to the usefulness of meditation and yoga, right? When I find myself kind of going into those moments of, oh my goodness, I'm going to panic. If I don't know how much longer it's going to be, right? If I'm able to take a few breaths, right, find some stillness in my body, then I can notice that, as with everything, this too shall pass, right? This will not last forever. This moment will be in the past at one point, right? And so if I can find that stillness, it brings me out of my anxiety and into my body. And then I'm able to kind of move and work that anxiety out through my yoga, and then I can make it through to the next moment, right? It's all about just from one moment to the next moment, right? We talked about that last week when we talked about distance, right? The distance between the past and the future is this present moment, right? So this is the only thing that we have control over. So, having strategies for bringing yourself back into the moment, back into your body, I have found to be really useful for me. So we're going to meditate. So if you are using the playlist that I provided, you can go ahead and start that playlist now. Find yourself in a comfortable seat. That seat can be cross-legged. It can be leaning up against a wall. If you're leaning up against a wall, I recommend that you have something like a block between your shoulder blades to help keep you upright. You can also, if sitting upright is really uncomfortable for you today, you're welcome to lay down. But I just recommend that you have some sort of incline so that you are able to stay awake because it is still morning. At least here it is. So find that comfortable seat, and when you're there, come to stillness with your hands in your lap. If it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes. Otherwise, take a soft gaze towards the earth. And just take a moment here to find the present moment. Bring your mind into your body. Thank yourself for carving out time for meditation and yoga today. Acknowledging the purpose that it serves in your life. Feeling your hips grounding down into the earth. Sitting up nice and tall. Feeling the breath coming in and out of the body as the belly rises and falls. Letting the belly go. The flesh is soft and loose. Swallowing a few times to release any tension in the throat. Feeling the shoulder blades relax down the back, allowing the arms to be heavy. Feeling the weight of the hands in your lap. Relaxing the jaw, letting the tongue fall in the mouth. Letting go of any tension in the eyes. Just letting everything go. And on each inhale, scanning up the front of the body. Notice any places where you're still holding on. And on each exhale, letting go, feeling the hips sink even further down into the earth. And now bringing your attention back to your breath. Feeling the breath as it comes in and out of the nostrils. Noticing the breath as it is in this moment. And you may find that there are moments when the mind begins to wander away out of the body. In those moments, simply acknowledge that the mind has wandered. And with compassion for yourself and the process of meditation, bring your attention back to the breath. And as we move into about 4 minutes of silence, you'll continue that cycle of focusing on the breath, acknowledging when the mind has wandered, and bringing your attention back to the breath. Bring your attention back into your body. You may notice that your breath immediately begins to deepen. You may notice that you sit up a little bit taller if you've slumped over a little bit during the meditation. Bringing the hands together at the heart, lifting the heart into the hands, bowing the head towards the heart. Thanking yourself for this portion of your practice today, for setting aside time to meditate. And to help us transition into the next part of our practice, we'll take 2 collective breaths, taking a deep inhale through the nose, opening the mouth and letting it go. One more time, deep inhale through the nose, opening the mouth and letting it go. And taking a moment here to set an intention for the second part of our practice as we transition from stillness into movement. Your intention may be connected to our group intention of distance. In what ways can you find calm in the storm? Or it can be any other intention that will help to guide your practice today. And when you're ready, lifting your head, blinking your eyes open. If you've been sitting cross-legged, using your hands to help guide your knees together, bringing your feet straight out in front of you. Maybe rubbing your hand up and down your legs to bring some life back into those legs. And then we're going to actually start in tabletop today. So if you're like me, I like to have a little bit of padding underneath my knees. Bringing your knees directly underneath your hips. Wrists directly underneath your shoulders, flat back. And we'll start with some hip circles. So shifting the weight forward on the inhale. And then on the exhale, swinging the hips around and back to the right. Inhale, swinging those hips around to the left and forward. Helping to wake those hips up. Bringing some life back into them after sitting for so long. Hopefully this feels good in your hips after meditation. And just continue that cycle with your breath. And the next time you're in the back, switching directions if you haven't already done so. You might find that you can go a little bit farther forward with each circle, a little bit farther back as we stretch the hips. And after your next cycle, coming back to stillness and tabletop. On the inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the heart, lifting the head. On the exhale, rounding the spine, bowing towards the heart, pressing the hands away. Inhale, lifting the heart, dropping the belly, lifting that tailbone. Exhale, rounding the spine. And let's do a few more of those on your own breath. Inhaling for cow. Exhaling for cat. And you just keep moving with your breath. You may want to, if it feels good in your body, add some hip circles in with your cat-cow, just moving the body as we wake ourselves up. Nobody can see what you're doing. So do what feels good in your body. And after your next cycle, coming back to stillness. We're going to shift that right foot back, coming onto the toes of the right foot, and just pulse that foot just backwards and forward. Waking those toes up, waking those legs up. And then finding stillness there. We're going to bring the right foot between the hands. And then on the inhale, shift the hips forward. On the exhale, shift the hips back, straightening that right leg. Inhale, shift the hips forward. Exhale, shift the hips back. Leaning into that right leg. One more time. Inhale, shift the hips forward. Exhale, shift the hips back. And let's stay here for a couple breaths. You're welcome to come onto the heel of that front leg if that feels good to you. Just being gentle with yourself as we're still warming up. Stretching that hamstring. And then inhale, coming back up to neutral. Shifting that right foot back to where it was, directly next to the knee. Or back into tabletop. And let's move to the left side. So extending that left leg back, toes on the mat. Pulsing that foot a few times to wake up those toes. And then bringing that left foot between the hands. Inhale, shifting the hips forward. Exhale, leaning backwards. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. One more time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. And staying here for a few breaths. Coming onto the heel if that's okay with your legs. And then inhaling back, forward, tucking the toes on the right foot, lifting that right knee, and bringing that right foot to meet the left into a forward fold. Taking your feet as wide as you need to, bending those knees to bring the chest down to the thighs. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, swinging from side to side. Taking a deep inhale here. Exhale, releasing those hands to sink a little bit farther down. And then bringing the hands to the low back as you roll the body all the way up to standing. The head is the last thing to come up. Saying hello to the day. If your feet are wide, bringing those feet about hip distance apart. Toes pointing forward, grounding those feet into the earth. Spreading the toes wide. Lifting the pelvic floor, lifting the heart. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Palms are by your side. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward, back into forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold back down on the exhale. Step the right foot back and then the left foot back into a high push-up plank. Rounding into those hands, fingers are nice and wide to give you support. Pressing those heels forward to come onto the toes. Taking a deep inhale here. Exhale with control. Release all the way down to the mat. Untucking those toes so that the tops of the feet are on the mat. On the inhale, lifting the heart ever so slightly for a baby cobra. You're lifting the heart forward and up at the same time. Exhale, release back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up. Exhale, back down. Tucking the toes, coming through tabletop as you lift the hips up and back for our first downward dog. Pedaling the feet in your downward dog. As we walk the dog. Bending the knees, looking between the hands, taking a deep inhale here. And then on the exhale, walking those feet back towards the top of the mat into forward fold. Inhale, sliding the hands up to the shins, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale, reverse swan dive those hands all the way up to the top, palms touch. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Let's keep going. Inhale, the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Step back into plank on the inhale. Release down to the mat on the exhale. Cobra on the inhale. Downward dog on the exhale. Bend the knees on the inhale, looking between the hands. Walk forward on the exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Fold back down on the exhale. Reverse swan dive all the way back up to the top, palms touch. Exhale, the hands to the heart. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale, the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold back down. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Step back into plank on the inhale. And this time you're welcome to add in Chaturanga. So Chaturanga is halfway down on the exhale. And then Cobra on the inhale. Downward dog on the exhale. Taking 2 breaths here. Bend the knees, looking between the hands on the inhale. Exhale, walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Reverse swan dive all the way back up to the top, palms touch. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Inhale, the arms all the way up overhead. On the exhale, bend the knees, come into your chair so the hips lower down. Finding stillness here, grounding into those feet, feeling that discomfort that arises and staying with it anyway. Taking a deep inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Letting it all go. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Stepping back into plank on the inhale. Chaturanga or lower all the way down on the exhale. Cobra on the inhale. Downward dog on the exhale. Immediately on your next inhale, lifting the right leg up and behind you. Bringing that right foot between your hands on your exhale. You're welcome to help it a little bit with your hand. Release the left heel down to the mat so that the left foot is parallel to the back of your mat. Heel is in line with the arch of the foot. And then on your inhale, cartwheeling those hands up for warrior 2. Rolling that right thigh out to the right to help keep that leg engaged, and that'll help keep that knee directly over the ankle. Pressing into the pinky toe of the back foot. You want both legs fully engaged. Looking over the middle finger of the right hand. Arms are strong, shoulders are relaxed and down. Feeling the power growing within you. On the inhale, straightening that right knee, shifting the hips back as though somebody's pulling your right arm forward. And then on the exhale, releasing that right arm down, left arm comes up for triangle. You can look straight up, you can look down. Finding a point of focus that helps you. And pressing those hips forward and reaching that left arm up as though somebody's pulling that arm up. So there's engagement in every part of the body, continuing to press into the pinky toe of the back foot. Bending that front knee on the inhale, coming back up to warrior two. Exhaling here. Inhale, releasing that left hand down to the left leg. Right arm comes up and over, reverse warrior. Trying to lift that heart up towards the sky. Inhale, back to warrior two. Turning those right toes in to be parallel to the left toes. You may need to scoot those feet in just a little bit as we prepare for a forward fold here. Taking the hands to the hips, taking a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, beginning to hinge forward. Keeping that back as neutral as you can. And then when you can't hinge anymore, letting the body fold down, bringing the hands to the earth or to a block. Making sure that you're grounding into all four corners of the feet, that you're not leaning backwards or forwards. So pressing into those feet, letting the whole body just release down. Bringing the fingertips to the earth, pressing into those fingertips as you bring the body up just a little bit for a flat back. And then exhale, release back down one more time. Crown of the head releases to the earth. Bending the knees, bringing the hands back to the hips, and with a flat back coming all the way back up. Turning those right toes back towards the front of the mat, bending that knee, coming back into warrior two. Taking a deep inhale here one more time as we say goodbye to this side. Exhale, cartwheel those hands back down to the mat, stepping back into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, Downward Dog. Lifting the left leg up and behind you on the inhale. Exhale, bringing that left foot between the hands. Releasing the right foot down, preparing for warrior two on this side. Inhale, cartwheel those arms up and overhead. Remembering all of those points of engagement, grounding into the back pinky toe, rotating that front thigh outward so that it keeps that knee over the ankle. Lifting through the torso as though somebody's pulling the crown of your head up towards the sky. And looking over the middle finger of the left hand. Noticing that it doesn't take constant movement to engage the entire body. On the inhale, straightening that front leg, shifting those hips backwards as that left hand comes forward. And then releasing that left hand down to the mat. Right arm comes all the way up to the sky. Not allowing your body to just sink down, keeping that heart lifted. Bending that front knee, inhaling those arms back up to warrior two. Exhaling here. Inhale, releasing that right arm down to the leg. Left arm comes up and over, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. Turning those left toes to be parallel with the right. Bringing the hands to the hips. And then inhaling here, lifting on the inhale. Exhale, hinging forward. Keeping that back neutral as long as you can. And then releasing into the fold. Coming onto the tips of the fingers, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release back down one more time. Bringing the hands back to the hips, inhaling with a flat back, coming back up. Turning the left toes forward, coming back into warrior two. Taking a goodbye inhale to warrior two on this side. Exhale, cartwheel those hands back down to the mat, stepping back into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale for Cobra. Exhale, Downward Dog. Bending the knees on the inhale, looking between the hands. On the exhale, walk, step, or jump to the top of your mat. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Reverse swan dive, the hands all the way back up to the top. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, hands up and overhead. Exhale, fold down. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Step the right foot back, grounding into that left foot. If you can, keeping that right knee lifted. And then inhaling the arms up and overhead, crescent lunge. Taking an inhale here. Exhale, back down. Stepping the left foot back into plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, Downward Dog. Lifting the right leg up and behind you on the inhale. Exhale, bringing that right foot between the hands. Inhale, hands up and overhead. Feeling strong in both of those feet. Inhale here. Exhale, the hands back down. Feeling strong in that right leg. Shift the body forward to come into a forward split, so lifting that left leg up and behind you. Flexing that foot to keep the hips parallel. So it might mean that your left leg comes down a little bit. Hands come to the earth or to a block. Breathing here. Exhale, releasing that left foot down by the right. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, the hands all the way up to the top. Exhale, right back down, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Stepping the left foot back into lunge. Inhale, the arms up and overhead. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down. Stepping the right foot back into plank on the inhale. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale for Cobra. Exhale, Downward Dog. Lifting the left leg up and behind you. On the inhale, on the exhale, bringing that left foot between the hands. Inhale up for crescent lunge on this side. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale the hands back to the mat, grounding into those hands and that foot, shifting the weight forward onto the left foot to bring that right foot up for standing split. Flexing that foot to help keep those hips level. Taking a deep inhale here. Exhale, bringing that right foot beside the left into forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Reverse swan dive all the way up to the top. Palms touch. Hands come to the heart. And breathe. Good job, guys. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Deep inhale through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, forward fold for the last time today. Halfway lift on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. Stepping back into downward dog. Bending the knees, releasing the knees down to the mat. Swinging the feet around the body to come to sit on the bottom. And then coming to lie all the way flat on your back. And just taking a couple of breaths here to allow the body to absorb everything that you've done today. And then bending the knees, bringing the feet to the earth. Crossing the right ankle onto the left leg, making a 4 shape. Lifting the hips, shifting the hips about 2 inches to the right as you allow the foot to release all the way down to the left. Using that left hand to press that right knee away so that it keeps that hip stretch. Bringing the right arm out by your side, looking over that right shoulder. And just breathe. On the inhale, using that left hand to help bring that left knee back up. Releasing the right foot down to the mat. Maybe moving the knees from side to side before we move to the other side. Realigning your hips into the center of your mat. And then bringing that left ankle onto the right leg. Lifting the hips, shifting them about 2 inches to the left. And then releasing that left foot all the way down to the right. Using the right hand to help press that left knee away. The left arm comes out by your side, looking over the left shoulder. those knees back up to center. Releasing that left foot down to the mat. Hugging the knees into the chest, rocking the hips from side to side. And then releasing the legs down to the mat, nice and long for Shavasana. Palms are up by your side. You're welcome to place a bolster or a blanket underneath your knees if that feels good. Bringing the attention back into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, rotating the wrists and the ankles, moving the head from side to side, just gentle movements, hugging the knees into the chest, rocking the hips from side to side, bringing movement into the back, and then rolling onto your favorite side. Taking one last moment here to reconnect with the intention you set at the beginning of your practice, acknowledging how that intention has served you. And then when you're ready, pressing yourself back up to an easy seat, whatever that is for you in this moment. Bringing the hands together at the heart, bowing the head as you lift the heart into the hands. Acknowledging and thanking yourself for showing up for practice today. And it has been my honor as always to practice with you. May you continue to find calm during these times of distance. May you be happy, may you remain healthy, and may you always know peace. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.